Hello and welcome back to another certified OG shaping video. The C63 AMG has been a staple in the automotive industry for a very long time. It looked absolutely amazing and the V8 always sounded so aggressive. This all changed however a little while ago when Mercedes unveiled the latest generation of the C63. It was now powered by a 4-cylinder turbocharged engine combined with the hybrid technology, and let me say this, people absolutely went crazy worldwide. And it's gotten so bad that I have to say I have never seen one of those in real life out on open streets. And in today's video we're gonna find out if the hate really is justified or Mercedes actually pulled a genius move with this new car and created an absolute monster. So sit back, relax and enjoy. Yeah, and here it is. This is, well, the object of desire of today's video, which is the brand new, so to say, the newest version of the C63 AMG. As I've already told you, I've already had the chance to test one of those 2 years ago when they first launched it, but I wasn't fully able to, do my thing with it due to the restrictions of Mercedes-Benz itself. So I think in today's video, this is always going to change. And before we start this video properly, I just want to give a huge shout out to DJ Lucky Boy over here.
Hi guys.
If you're from the Czech Republic, you probably know him already because he's a big YouTuber here. He does car stuff a lot there. He doesn't really speak English in the videos, so I don't understand what he's saying, but he's got a huge collection of cars, insane cars, and he's also drifting too. So very cool guy. He drove this car here 6 hours, only for us to test it. So
7 hours.
7 hours. Yeah. He drove a bit slower, that's why he took 7 hours.
Yeah.
But he brought us this car, so shout out again. I did a story on Instagram, by the way, asking for my subscribers who owns one of those, and literally nobody. Like normally when I do a story like that with the Yaris, there's like 50 people.
Yeah.
Nobody bought this. So he's one of the only guys I know.
But I don't understand.
Yeah, we'll find out today.
We will find it out, yeah, exactly.
Because I think it's probably not as bad as everybody says. So we're gonna find it out today. Anyway, before we do that first, let's take a closer look at the car from the exterior, interior, the engine, everything. I'm gonna show you everything properly because I have to say, I've never really seen anything of this car. This is probably like the second time I've seen him in real life. I mean, if you look at it,
What's up, man?
It's so slippery today.
Yeah.
I don't know also why it's snowing. It's not supposed to snow today, though.
Yeah, it's good for us. It's good for
if
us.
we find some snow today. The car itself is very beautiful. You have to give that to Mercedes-Benz. They know how to design cars.
Yeah.
It may not look as aggressive and as menacing as the older ones. It looks a bit tame, but still it looks very good, especially from the front.
Yeah.
I really like the lights and everything. It looks absolutely beautiful. This obviously, ASMR those. This is the estate version, as you can see, obviously, with the standard back. Beautiful from the rear as well. You have the typical AMG, exhaust tips and everything. It is a good looking car, you can't deny it. But one thing that I have to say right now is I really like the older ones more, because with the older ones you saw them on the street and it was serious business.
Yeah.
This could be a C43 as well. They're not really wide anymore. They don't really look that aggressive for some reason. Mercedes-Benz is trying to do something new. They're trying to be something different than they were a few years ago, which I don't really know if that's a good thing or not. We're gonna find out today. The inside of the car, obviously it's a bit messy because they drove here for 7 hours, but that's one thing. Mercedes is always known for, they know how to do interiors of cars. It looks absolutely beautiful. Steering wheel is very nice. The seats are actually pretty cool. Carbon bucket seats. Carbon isn't it? That wasn't bucket seats. Obviously you have here this, carbon fiber structure. Very cool. Also the displays, we're gonna show you later while driving everything that you can do with it. There's many buttons on the steering wheel, which can be kind of confusing, but we're gonna show you properly later. This also looks kind of cool, I have to say. So,
Floating or what?
ja, irgendwie ist das so futuristisch auf jeden Fall.
Yeah.
No. Let's see the engine, because that's what everybody's complaining about. DJ Lucky Boy. And this is... Kevin, was hast du da gebaut? Kevin, warum hast du nicht gesagt, dass wir da einen 8-Zylinder einbauen?
Ey, irgendwie schon cool. Da mit den Lodern und so.
I mean, the engine itself is a pretty cool engine,
Yeah.
You can't deny that. For a 4-cylinder, it's a very cool design.
Yeah.
It looks pretty cool, with the turbocharge on top and everything. Kind of reminds me of my Evo. Is it twin turbo or one turbo?
It's one turbo, but it's crazy because it's electronic system turbo. You don't have a turbo lock because turbo is prepared with electric.
Nice.
It's crazy because here is technology from Formula 1.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, that's probably the coolest 4-cylinder you can buy right now.
But it would be cooler with a V8.
Yeah, we're gonna find that out today. You know, we'll see if it really is that. I think honestly we're still gonna have fun, and I still think it's a very good car.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, obviously this is what many people said. You know, the old ones, they had the V8s. They were really rowdy cars. They were loud. They were rumbly. You had that deep V8 note, and you don't really have that anymore with this car. You wanna start it up really quick?
Listen.
The startup is pretty quick.
When you have a cold start, you
Yeah.
start only on electric.
Really? It sounds so unreal.
Yeah,
it's
very strange sound.
yeah,
Like, it doesn't
so-
sound like a typical 4-cylinder engine. Kind of sounds a bit like a diesel engine, like a 6-cylinder diesel or something.
You know the sound modules with the
Yeah.
boxes in the exhaust? It sounds like this, but with a gas
You
engine.
don't feel sound indoor, but outdoor you have a sound from the sound system.
Oh, it's a sound system?
Yeah.
Okay, well that kind of explains why it sounds unreal.
Yeah.
Anyway, I would love to hear one of those with the proper exhaust one day, maybe. I don't know if anybody's ever done that. If anybody of you has done it, send it to me, please. But I
Yeah.
want to see it. Yeah, that's so
And
far.
for the first time you drive this car?
No, I drove it like 2 years ago.
And did you try the launch control?
Yes. But it was like with the Mercedes event. They invited me to be one of the first to test it.
Okay.
And we were not allowed to do most of the things we
Okay.
wanted to do.
You can try it unlimited now.
Unlimited.
So
Nice.
that's what we're gonna do now. So let's jump into the car, go around the interior again really quick, show you all the features that this car has, and then we're gonna drive it somewhere. Let's go. It's so insanely windy outside today. I don't know why. Yeah, let's see.
I like the steering wheel.
Steering wheel is pretty nice.
Yeah.
That for sure. The only thing, which I already said back when I tested it the first time 2 years ago, there is so many buttons on the steering wheel. You really have to get used to it, and you really have to find your way into having this car. One thing Manny and me decided to do for this video, by the way, we are going to be very objective, and we are not going to compare this car to anything else. We're not going to compare it. Oh, das Touchscreen. Geht das zu? Nein, geht das zu?
Ich weiß nicht. This
Yeah,
is.
we are going to be very objective, and we're not going to compare this car to anything else. We all know there's no denying that the M3 or the RS5 is in the end a better car, and also that the previous generations are just way more emotional. We're not going to compare this car to any of this today. We're just going to test it, and we're just going to see what we like and what we don't like about this car. Because I think it's very fair. Obviously, you know, back in the days you could compare a C63 to an M3, but it's just
These times are over.
these times sadly are over. One thing I have to say, this car is insanely expensive. This car, he told us, costs 160,000 euros new, which is insane. And for that you get a 4-cylinder turbocharged engine with an electric engine as well. The car makes altogether 700 something horsepower
Yeah.
and
It's electric.
1,000 newton meters of torque, which is very crazy numbers. The 4-cylinder engine itself makes around 450 horsepower and 500 newton meters of torque, which is the strongest 4-cylinder engine ever put in any production car, which is a very cool thing.
That's cool, yeah.
But also at the same time, a V8 would have been nicer. But anyway,
Yeah.
we're just gonna test the car how it is, and we're
Yeah.
gonna see how it works. One thing I have to say, which you have to keep in mind, is I don't really know if it makes so much sense squeezing so much power out of such a small engine if you look at it from a reliability standpoint, you know?
Yeah.
And the car is hybrid, which means I had this thought so many times with hybrid cars. You get into the car and it's completely cold. You drive off in electric, and you want to overtake somebody, and the engine turns on.
Yeah.
But the engine is completely cold. But you press it, you push it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I understand.
I don't know if there's like a system for it that prevents stuff from breaking, but that's always my thoughts about hybrid systems. That's why probably we're just gonna put into Sport Plus or Sport mode. Please check it out. Yeah, that's one thing Mercedes does really cool, by the way, is these lights. But
Oh la la.
this should not be like the biggest thing if you buy an AMG. This should not be having lights inside your car that flash up into different colors. This should not be the reason why you buy AMG. Still, anyway, interior absolutely beautiful. There's There's no denying that. You have this huge display here. You have a very beautifully designed display here. All the vents and everything looks very high quality, very expensive. Probably the best interior out of all the three major brands, German brands that you can buy, is by far still Mercedes.
I don't know. This looks a little bit cheap.
I like it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think this is probably right now the most beautiful interior still. If you compare it to BMW or Audi, this wins.
Yeah,
by
yeah,
far.
yeah.
So that's one thing that Mercedes has always been very good about, is interior quality. The car is normally all-wheel drive, which I don't know if we have a chance to test it out. If we find some snow, as you can see, it stopped snowing. But the good thing is you can shift this car into rear drive as well. Ah, der hat sogar einen Schneemodus.
Klutzko-Modus.
Oh yeah, this car is lanky, but obviously everything that you would normally need. Anyway, let's just skip it here in this. There's so much to play around.
Let's talk about the steering and and suspension. What?
You see, I'm not a Mercedes guy. I still have to get used to all of this. Obviously, Burma is the sound system, which is very, very cool. Steering wheel, if you look at it for a longer time, you might get confused. I am still a bit confused. This is probably the gearbox.
I love it. It looks really, really cool.
Dampening Controls. Boah, das ist aber schade. Das ist dann so. Ah, das ist aber cool. Ja, so macht das dann Sinn. So now I'm in manual mode. Aber this car is fast. Der drückt die schon ganz schön die Zähne.
Ja.
Schon schnell.
Ich finde es gar nicht so schlecht.
Yeah. We already set it back in my garage. The engine itself is very, very cool. You have a 4-cylinder, single turbo engine that has lots of potential.
Yeah.
You could put like a bigger turbo into it, or you could play around with the blow-off valves.
Exactly.
Everything. I have never seen somebody do it, but you could theoretically do it. And the engine itself and like all the technology behind it is very high tech. Like you already said, it's derived from Formula 1 Technic. I read a little bit on the internet. Very cool stuff.
Yeah.
Still, I don't really feel like I'm sitting in a proper C63 right now. But we haven't really properly tested this car yet. So. It's fast, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's like really, really fast. But, you know, a Tesla is also fast. So I'm not still 100% sure what I think about the vehicle in general. Oh, the steering wheel is actually touchscreen. I didn't notice that the first time when I...
Really?
Sport on. Oh, hey. Welcome on, Mr. Stark. What can I do for you today?
Wer redet da so?
Der
Jarvis.
Jarvis, ja?
Aber warum hat er einen russischen Akzent?
Weiß ich nicht, weil wir ihn am Tschechischen hatten.
Ja, stimmt.
That is very cool. I feel like I'm in a video game right now. Hey, I have to say one thing. This car pulls really, really hard.
But
With
is
the electric engine and
is
everything.
this with electric?
Yeah.
Okay.
It feels very, very fast. It feels faster than most of the cars I own. I wish you would hear like maybe the wastegate a little bit or something. Or maybe from the outside you hear it. When you slide past you.
The next thing is, yesterday we drove the Supra, so we are completely affected about gasoline smell, loud noises, exhaust
this is very
whistles.
comfortable compared to this.
Yeah.
This feels like a very cool daily cruiser.
Ja. Boah. Geht echt nicht schlecht.
Geht oder echt gut?
Ja.
Echt so. Aber das muss auch. Also wenn das langsam war, dass der Vorgänger 104 Zylinder und dann, well, at least the car moves pretty fast.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I think the car is a sleeper. Because from the outside it looks very good, very elegant and everything, but it doesn't look like a proper sports car. So it kind of has like the sleeper vibe to it, which is also very unusual for Mercedes and for AMG to do it, because if you look at all the older cars, I know I'm like comparing them again, but just bear with me really quick. The old cars, you knew it was an AMG. You looked at it and you knew it was standing on business, it was crazy. But this car looks very tame, very modest and everything. So yeah, this car kind of has like the sleeper vibe to it, which is crazy to say, but this is just the way it is. Which, you know, it can be a cool thing. Many people don't want a car that like screams, I'm a supercar, a sports car.
Yeah.
It's like a car for, you can daily drive it and nobody will get mad at you for doing anything.
Ja.
Thinking helps is übrigens.
Was?
Der 9. Ich bin ja gerade auf jeden Fall im 9. gegangen. This is one thing I remember about test driving the car I did not like is the gearbox, because the gears are so short.
Really?
So while sliding you always have to decide whether you go in second gear, where you go into rev limiter so quickly, or in third gear where the car didn't really have much power or like enough power to slide properly. We're gonna see that now, because over the years I have learned some new abilities. One thing that we also said is in Europe over the past few years the old AMGs really had like a pretty interesting vibe to it. Like most people driving them were like not German people, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
You saw an AMG and you know that probably there's some Turkish guy sitting inside. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So I think AMG tried to maybe rebrand their image a little bit from this like antisocial group of people that are driving their cars to like a more serious businessman, or like, you know, some umweltbewusst, like
climate friendly.
climate friendly people. Maybe this could be a plausible explanation in my head,
Or
because you don't really see those people drive this car anymore, you know. All of them are driving BMWs now.
Or Mercedes got so much trouble about the V8 sounds and the bobs and bangs in the cities that they decided to take a 4-cylinder into the car. So
Yeah. I mean, we all know in the end they tried to do something new.
we must drift it, then we see.
Let's drift it and then really find out.
Yeah.
How do we get into drift mode?
Yeah.
Ah.
Ready. Safety. No safety. Fun. Okay.
Let's go. Okay, so the car is now in drift mode, which means we can fully test it out. Also, we need that zweite.
Ja. Giftig.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. The differential is struggling quite a bit with different road surfaces. It doesn't really know whether it should close or open, because we have some snow on the road, like now. Which makes it actually very, very insanely dangerous to drive, I have to say. And that's what I said. You see, the gears are too short for the car to go sideways. In second gear, you are instantly in the rev limiter, and in third gear, the car doesn't really want to slide anymore, even here in the wet. Lots of. What the f ist da rutschig, Alter?
So jetzt.
And the next thing is you don't have a shift knob here, so you have to shift with the pedals. The pedals are pretty small. Sometimes you have a hard time shifting. Car moves really fast though. Just not a really big fan of how it. You know, with the BMW, it's always either it's once you give it gas in rear-wheel drive, it just goes sideways. But this car, it's like a 50-50 chance. It sometimes opens up. Now the diff was open.
Yeah.
And the car cuts power as well. You notice it. I'm not letting off the gas.
Yeah.
The car cuts power itself. Why does it do that? Again, the car cuts power. It sounds pretty good in the rev limiter though.
Yeah. But this thing pushes.
It's incredibly
Yeah.
quick. I just wish the differential would work a bit better, to be honest. Because currently the car just really does not like to go well how I want it to go. It's so delayed, everything. I don't know. It's really hard to drift this thing. Because once it closes,
Yeah, I feel it. I feel it. It's open up and close, open up.
and then it gets off the gas, even though I'm fully put down. Bro, I've never had a car fight with me like that to go sideways, and this is supposed to be AMG. I was really confident that maybe I just did not like the car back when we tested it, because they told me, you know, to go easy on the car. But now, for the purpose that I want the car to be, which is going sideways, it's just the car really does not like it. The differential doesn't lock. Once it locks, it just behaves weirdly. The car cuts power randomly. But sometimes, obviously today it's very, very extreme conditions because we have snow on the side.
Yeah.
But it's wet, you know.
But normally it should be no problem.
Yeah, normally it should be no problem. Bro, the M3 would love it today. It goes sideways easily, and it's very predictable, the M3. This car is unpredictable, and that's what makes it dangerous. Okay, now we have a little bit of snow. Maybe this helps. Yeah, obviously in the snow it's a bit better now, but
Yeah.
no, I don't know.
I was hoping that maybe
Yeah, I was hoping as well.
that
maybe.
the differential and the gearbox or something like that would push the car more to drift.
Yeah,
But right now I'm really a little bit disappointed.
it's fast, you know. Don't get
Yeah.
me wrong, but this is not supposed to be. No, it's not. I don't like it. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't really want to say anything too much. Took a little bit of snow with us. I mean, the car is very fast. It's insanely precise to steer and everything. You can't really say anything about the steering. The steering is great. The brakes are great. The engine is also pretty cool, but I don't like how the car behaves. I don't like the differential. I don't like the gearbox, and I don't like all the electronic systems interfering with you. Because we turned everything off completely, but the car still is fighting a lot to go sideways. You saw it in the video. The car really does not like it, and that makes it very dangerous to drive. If they would just let me do my thing and turn it off completely, we would not have spun out. We would have not had any issues with it whatsoever. But the system interfering with you is probably one of the most dangerous things you can have when you try to push a car properly, because it makes the car unpredictable. You would have to get used to the car a lot by driving it much to get used to the system interfering. Like this right now, with me not having ever driven the car before properly and not knowing when the system would interfere, it is probably the most dangerous thing you can have in any car. Honestly, I have to say, right now I'm pretty disappointed of how this car performed. I'm sorry to say this, I wish it would be different. I honestly thought we're gonna make a cool car today, showing you people, you know, maybe I was wrong, maybe this car is good after all, because, you know, we get to do our thing with it properly. Gonna give it a few more goes. I still want to try it a little bit to see how everything functions. Maybe we find some snow as well later, so we can test it on the snow at least, which is maybe a bit better for the car. But right now with these conditions, with having a wet road, it just didn't really want to slide at all. But yeah, maybe some donuts will help. We'll see. Vor Minuten Schneefall. At least the donuts work perfectly fine. Alright, let's do a bit more testing. I still do not want to give up. Okay, leg mich am Arsch. Jetzt weiß ich, wie sich der Mann immer fühlt.
I think the biggest problem is the car is fucking heavy.
The differential, I think. Because you see it opens up all the time.
Yeah.
You should weld it.
Alter, dort jetzt echt nochmal weggefallen.
Well, I got convinced to try this car on this road one more time. He told me to put the suspension to sport, so let's see if this will change something.
Okay.
The thing is, you know, drifting with the car works, but it's like fake drifting. It's a drift mode. And this car doesn't give you confidence, which is very much needed when you drift a car. You see, it works very fine in like small corners like this, but once it gets more technical and faster, the car doesn't know what to do. And that's the problem. It's just dangerous. It's just shaking you around because the diff opens, closes, takes away the power. It's fun, don't get me wrong. We did some outside shots now. He did some of them, I did some of them.
Yeah.
It got me a bit more confidence for the car. nice, don't get me wrong. But it's just, you have to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to destroy yourself and the car completely.
But do you remember the M5 got also the same problem
Yes.
with the throttle response?
Yeah, true. But they fixed it, I heard.
Yeah.
BMW actually watched my video of the M5 and they fixed it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Some
that's
guy
nice.
told me who works in it.
Yeah, so fast.
Yeah. Once you get used to the car, it's a bit better for sure, because I'm starting to get warm with it.
Yeah.
And now it's not as bad anymore. It's actually kind of fun, to be honest. But like I said, this is probably one of the hardest cars I've ever had to drift on any road in my entire life, which I did not expect from an AMG.
Nice. Brutal, oder? Ja, das ist schon cool.
It's a cool car, don't get me wrong. Definitely not worth the money though, in my opinion. Let's see if we can find some snow somewhere and maybe test it out in the snow a little bit. I think the snow will help the car to be a bit more predictable because everything is slower and it's less strain for the whole differential and everything. And I also have to say these are very extreme conditions here today because you see it, sometimes you have snow on the road, sometimes it's just wet. So for a very advanced car it can be hard to anticipate what it should do. And that's the issue that this car has. Yeah, may not be the longest road, but we found something with a little bit of snow at least, so we can try the all-wheel drive a little bit, because that's aber nicht. All-wheel drive is nice.
Yeah.
It actually slides way better than with rear-wheel drive. I guess because the car is laid out to be all-wheel drive from if you don't go into drift mode, so it just really.
Bisschen sketchy schon.
Ja, ein bisschen schon. Ist crazy.
Ja.
It gets fast. That's one thing I can tell you. It gets really, really insanely fast for that we're driving on complete ice right now. I like it.
Yeah,
it's cool.
It's really cool, yeah.
Yeah. I think we found the purpose for this car.
All-wheel drive on ice.
All-wheel drive on ice, yeah.
Yeah.
Because here the car doesn't really interfere much. It doesn't really cut the power as it does with the rear-wheel drive. This feels natural for the car.
Yeah.
It sounds stupid, and obviously it makes sense because obviously in the snow you have way less friction on the whole drivetrain and everything. But this feels pretty solid. I really have to say.
Alter, fick dir. Alter, war das jetzt knapp. Ich bin einfach so in den Schnee reingekupft. Und das da war jetzt auch sauknapp.
The thing is, this car is so incredibly heavy. It's not really fun to slide in the snow as well. It's like sliding the T-Rex. It just keeps on sliding forever. Hat's wenigstens nicht ausgehört.
Alter, Vollgas. Aber da hab ich mir gedacht, jetzt ist alles hin.
Ja, der rutscht halt wirklich ewig.
Ja, ich muss auch sagen, ich hab mir scheiße hingestellt.
I mean, it is nice but you really feel the weight of this car here. I don't know how much it weighs. I wanted to say it already when we were driving on the paved road. It feels like this car weighs like 2.4 tons. It feels heavier than the M5. But yeah, now on the ice you feel it even more because this car just slides on forever. It doesn't stop sliding once it goes sideways. But even on this snow it pulls quite a lot. The drivetrain of the car is insane. Like the all-wheel drive and everything works pretty good. The only thing Mercedes really has to do with this car to make it a better car, in my opinion, is to make it so that the car doesn't interfere with your driving once you push the button for the EC to be fully off. That would help tremendously, I think.
Also von der Exhaust. It's nothing major. Yeah, it's nothing major.
It's so hot. Yeah, I think the test is over.
That was before.
Oh, it's okay. No, but I pay for that. Okay, let's get home.
Yeah.
So yeah, there it is. Luckily we only broke off the small plastic piece, which we managed to get back into the bumper pretty easily back in the garage. Quick shout out again to DJ Lucky Boy for letting me drive his car for the whole day and for also letting me test it properly. But that also brings us to the sad resume of this video. I really have to say this was one of the worst driving experiences I've had in a very long time. And I don't even think it's really coming down to the engine itself. The car just weighs way too much and you feel the weight a lot in the corners, and also while trying to get the car sideways. All the electric controls in the car interfere with the driving a lot, even when the ESC and everything is supposed to be fully off, which makes it very dangerous, because it makes the car unpredictable, like I already said in the video. The engine itself is pretty cool, but the gearbox itself is a very huge issue. It's just way too short in my opinion. The steering itself is pretty okay. It's not the best I've ever felt, but it's also not bad. And the suspension is good as well. The only thing they did absolutely right is the interior, which is kind of sad to say about an AMG. It should not be like this. But there is hope. The guys at Mercedes, I think they knew they made a mistake. So they announced the new C63 is gonna be a V8 again. So let's hope for the best, keep your fingers crossed, and see what the future brings for this actually very glorious brand. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys again very, very soon.
Ah. Ooh. Ah. Ooh. 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 Ah.